So now this is a time for the meditation. So sitting comfortably and making sure that there is less distractions around you, and checking your motivation to practice meditation. A meditation sounds simple, but in a practice it's very difficult. Sometimes people may have read plenty of books on a meditation, techniques on a meditation, but when you physically do it, it takes a lot of energy, a lot of motivation, and a lot of dedications, which only you will realize once you practice. So physically doing is what is very hard. That's why I have been speaking that those who are listening or following our ongoing meditation session this time, some may stay for a couple of minutes. They couldn't bear to stay for a long time. Doesn't matter how knowledgeable they are or understanding of Buddhism or Buddhist meditation, they will just leave. They cannot meditate. So a meditation sounds simple but very difficult when we practice it. And physically doing, and when physically doing alone, even more harder. When we are doing alone, practicing alone, and that moment our mind will create so many stories, so many jobs that you have to do and have to complete, and within a few seconds or a minute you will not be sitting anymore. You will be giving up practice and going and doing something else. That's why group meditation is always encouraged to participate and practicing in a group, which psychologically helps to practice more and more. And this is online, our group meditation, and despite of this group meditation, again, no one knows who are doing what, apart from me sitting here and guiding you. So in this case, you need a lot of trust within yourself, and being trustworthy of yourself that you are dedicating and practicing meditation. That means finding a comfortable, suitable place and sitting upright and doing nothing during this time, and how much you can be trustworthy of yourself that you can continue, let's say at least of a half an hour dedicating to yourself. Watching your breath, watching your body sitting here, and watching your thoughts and watching your feelings, without having anything to do with it, but simply watching and feeling, observing what's going on. It's like I use a simile of watching the river flow. You're sitting at the bank of the river and watching the river flow. Nothing to do, whatever floating. You're simply there to observe. And similarly, in the practice of a meditation, do not think of going to get something, or do not think of attaining something, but knowing what's going on here in this very moment, watching and observing it, knowing, understanding it. And to see more detail in it, one has to make a firm decision that you're not going to move, and see that how your mind works and how your mind feels a need of a move, this hand or that hand, or opening your eyes, or changing your legs, or changing your postures like that. And you will see the feelings changes, your mental state changes, and bodily vibration changes too. That's why it needs a lot of energy, a lot of dedication and determination, and being trustworthy of yourself. How much you're trustworthy to yourself that you're going to practice of a meditation. Unfortunately, practice of a meditation, you won't see the benefit instantly as you go to the gym. When you go to gym for, let's say, half an hour practice in gym, you're sweating, you're feeling tired, and you feel some tightness in your muscles, or you feel you have done something, and you feel good. But in the practice of a meditation, it's a slow process. You won't feel tiredness, you won't feel tenseness in your body, you won't feel sweating. Although if you're practicing not moving and testing your mind, there will be a sweating. Your clothes may get wet. It's unbelievable that you will be experiencing the sweating when you're sitting meditation. You will, if you are diligently practicing. So that's why practice of a meditation, oftentimes people do not want to continue practicing because you don't see the benefit of it immediately. But the benefit of the meditation, only you receive it after you have been practicing for some times regularly, and then you see the changes, the way you perceive things, the way you perceive, the observe or attitude to the feelings, the world, your mental state. You become more aware of your mindset, mental state. When become angry, what sort of a mental state you have, and you will be able to comprehend on that why am I getting angry? What is the consequences of it? And why am I feeling sad? Why I am feeling so anxious and so stressed? You will be able to detect these things slowly, one after another. But it won't happen one go. You have to do it regularly. Once you've been doing it regularly, then you will receive those benefits. That's why it needs a trustworthy of yourself, that how much you trust yourself, that you will be continuing doing it regularly. And the practice of a meditation, it's very simple in technique. Sitting comfortably and watching the breath, incoming breath and outgoing breath. Nothing more than that. And this is the present moment awareness. Because breath coming in and going out, and we know that this is coming in and going out. It sounds simple. And it may feel boring too. It may feel wasting the time. But when you dedicate yourself and practice, and you realize this is how difficult it is, you will have more conversation in your mind. I'm here to watch the breath, and why I am thinking of the stories, this and that. Stories after stories I've been thinking, whereas I'm supposed to be watching the breath. And this is also another form of a discussion going on inside our head. So that's why yesterday I mentioned that first of all what we have to practice is to establish our mind, ability to be mindful of incoming breath and outgoing breath. When it is coming, we know it is coming. When it is going, we know it's going. And the second practice I mentioned was when you are practicing in this way, and you won't be able to stay with breath long time, all the time. Mind will be distracted. In that case, you simply observe, acknowledge, and note the distraction by simply seeing it clearly, but not rushing to know that what it is and not reacting to it, but take your time to be aware of it and observing exactly what it is objectively, and patiently observing it, patiently knowing it, and let go, and back to the breath. So that was the instruction yesterday I gave. And if you've been practicing on and off from yesterday, you will notice these things without a doubt. A little or more. But if you haven't practiced, then obviously even the breath you cannot observe. Here, the practice of a meditation is not about the intellectual entertainment. It is about your own practice. But how you know the breath, and how you know that your mind is knowing the breath. And when you're knowing the breath or observing the breath, how your mind distracts to something else. When it distracts, how you do this to coming back. Simple is that. And many people, after doing one or two good meditation, so-called ability to be mindful of the breath, and then feeling so good, so wise, want to think of more advanced meditation, simply based on simple one good experience. We have to experience it many, many times. And when you're experiencing it many, many times, insight will come by itself. You don't have to think of the advanced meditation. All what you need to do is this basics, an ability to be mindful of it and know that exactly what it is again and again. And all intellect, all understanding will come, unfolds itself. That's why practice of a insight meditation, according to the Satipatthana meditation that Buddha gave, or instructions, it's a gradual process until we realize the Four Noble Truths. But until then, we cannot understand or comprehend even our feelings. And in order to understand our feelings, we have to have this firm understanding, the basics. Breathing in and breathing out. Mind goes off, and how you react, how you respond. And each time when you're responding, each time when you're doing it, then gradually you will be able to detect, this is feeling, the natural feeling that's happening to you. And when you're working with the feeling, and this working of the feeling is not that you intend to work. You start off the basics and these feelings appears. And when you are observing these feelings and working with the feelings, then you realize, how my mind is observing these feelings. How am I, or how my mind is engaging in these feelings. Sometimes my mind's liking it, another time mind doesn't like it. Other time creating resistance, other time creating hatred. Even the moment when you feel good, see, there's already a state of the mind there. Mental state of gladness, joy and happiness is there. So that's why don't think of getting advanced meditation. That's why I like the Thich Nhat Hanh, the Zen master's word. He said, it's not a miracle that you're flying to somewhere else. It's a miracle that you know how to walk on the ground. Which is quite similar to the Buddha's advice to the Ananda, when Venerable Ananda was suggesting the Buddha to cross the river by flying. The Buddha said, flying is not what a miracle. When you know how to cross it in a normal way, that is a miracle. So that's how you develop. And when you are working with your mind, when you are knowing, observing your state of the mind, doesn't matter how small or how long or how short time it is, and then you realize that how much am I conditioned with the sensual lusts, sensual pleasures, ill will, hatred and doubts, and desire. And where am I having less energy, and where should I improve the energies? And you will see, there is a dissatisfaction. There is a suffering. There is a problem. And that's how you gradually develop to the inner understanding. Understanding your own self and then the nature. And all starts from the beginning, and where everything ends too. So, practicing, simply sitting comfortably, aware of incoming breath, outgoing breath. Mindful of that, but not fixing it, completely locking yourself in it. But begin with mindful of it, aware of it. So when it's coming, we know it's coming. When it's going, we know it's going. While we are observing incoming and outgoing breath, if mind distracted, know that mind is distracted. In that case, observe, acknowledge that distraction, and noting, I'm having a distraction. And during this noting time, seeing it clearly, taking your time, observing, and patiently bring it back by letting go the object that is distracted and back to the moment, here and now, on the object. Right, breathing in and breathing out. So continue practicing in this way until you hear the gong. We'll be practicing until 8:15. relax yourself. You may loosen your sitting posture. And once again, bring your attention to the body. We will practice the loving kindness meditation to finish it off. So bring your attention to the body, and you may keep your mind at the central of the body, which is the second fingers up from the navel, and observe the sensations. Whatever sensations arises throughout the body. And bring that attention to your hands, aware of sensations in your hands, whatever sensations are there. And bring that attention to your heart, observe the beating heart. And as you feel the connection with your heart, generating loving kindness and compassion towards yourself, I am well, I am happy, I am at peace. May I be free from suffering, hatefulness, hatred, ill will, animosity. May I be free from troubles of body and mind. Similarly, sharing a loving kindness and compassion to all other sentient beings. Whatever beings there are around you, near dear ones, in the room, in the city, in the country, on earth, in the universe, visible and invisible beings, may all beings be well and happy. May they be free from suffering. May they be at peace. May they be free from hurtfulness, hatred, ill will, animosity. May they be liberated. Now bring your attention to your hands again, aware of sensations in your hands and to your body. And to your eyes, and as you hear the gong slowly coming out from meditation, and reflect for a few moments. Let's pay respect to the Buddha Dhamma Sangha.